Less than 4 miles from Michigan's land-grant college is the small community of Haslett, home to 20,000 citizens who enjoy summers by the lake, trekking in the springtime, and watching the Haslett Vikings battle with other area schools. Haslett is not only home to people, but a way of life. This is the evolution of Haslett.
Haslett was founded as a community by the Spiritualist Association, which was known either as Haslett Park Spiritualists or the Nemoka Park Spiritualists, and those were primarily followers of James and Sarah Haslett, who were local religious leaders and activists. They ended up leaving Port Huron to come here and found a new community based on their religious ideals, which involved training people how to speak to ghosts. It was also education focused. They did found a lot of non-religious educational initiatives, and they ended up lasting only about a decade before James Haslett passed away, and the whole idea was losing popularity year by year by the late 1900s, and the congregation just sort of drifted apart as Sarah Haslett, the widow, sold off the land to the Haslett Park Association and developed it into the amusement park that would be such a big part of the town after that.
Haslett is home to what was once called Pine Lake, but is now known only as Lake Lansing. The freshwater lake is home to parks, beaches, docks, trails, and more.
This whole Meridian Township, which includes Haslett, Okemos, and East Lansing, is kind of a wetland area. It's kind of a swamp, which is kind of cool in that I really believe Meridian Township is a good example of where a community can exist and coexist with a wetland area without eradicating the wetlands. So I think we're a really good example of how a community respects the planet and practices conservation-minded things to protect environments and ecosystems. Lake Lansing, it's interesting. I think Lake Lansing gets a lot of bad press and a lot of bad dialogue. I love Lake Lansing. And I've done some testing out there with some projects from MSU and Haslett students, and the quality of water of the lake is actually pretty good. Lake Lansing is not a good fishing lake. It's a really great fishing lake, actually, and I do really well. It's a lake that gets pretty busy, but at 5 in the morning, when no one else is out there but me and my kayak, it's pretty cool. And it looks kind of like I'm in the UP when I'm really in Haslett.
The lake is fairly small, still a popular spot today. It is one of the nicer lakes, easy to travel to from both the capital and the nearby university. If you're in the early part of the last century, there was a trolley line constructed in the early 1900s that connected Lansing to what was eventually going to be called Lake Lansing, and it made it a very easy place for wealthy tourists, senators, and people who worked in Lansing in the capital to take a nice weekend trip out here with their families. The area around Lake Lansing also featured, as I think I mentioned, the amusement park, which had merry-go-rounds and a roller coaster. There were several dance clubs near the lake, and also a drinking establishment in the middle of the lake, which was very popular during Prohibition.
The Izzer Club was a private establishment in the middle of the lake, built on wooden pillars. Only accessible by boat, it was a prime location for smuggling alcohol during Prohibition.
So the Izzer Club, from what I know, was a really cool club where I'm sure lots of wild parties and happenings occurred. I've heard that there was a secret door that was used in the floors in the days of Prohibition, that they would dump the alcohol. It was a location that you could only get to by boat. And what's really cool is when I've been fishing out there, I've seen the pylons where it stood. So the pylons, they're not close enough to the surface where it's going to be problematic for, say, a water skier or something like that, but they're close enough to the surface where if you look down, you can see them.
From the parks to the people, Haslett is a town where everyone cherishes their time with each other and looks forward to a bright future.